Protectors of the Grid, Chapter 27. Tara picked at the remnants of supper that still sat on the oilcloth tablecloth. "I'm so full," she lamented, scrapping a last crumb of flaky pastry into a drop of blackberry juice, then nibbling it off the end of her spoon. "Stuffed," Charlie agreed. Ben slugged back the last swallow of beer and patted his belly. Good." He leaned back against the rough wood of the rustic captain's chair and looked at the sky. The sun was just slipping behind the horizon when the sounds of a drumbeat and a hoarse, guttural chant wafted toward them, apparently from one of the teepees deeper in the cottonwood grove. The air felt electrified. They all felt the tingle and simultaneously rubbed their arms. "Look at us," Charlie commented. "What is that?" Tara looked thoughtful. "I think someone is praying the sun asleep, thanking it for today, for its light and warmth." She rubbed her arms again. "You can feel the sacredness, can't you?" She looked pointedly at Ben, who nodded. "Yes, I can. I know this ritual, too. Kachi used to drum the sun up and then drum it down. But that didn't sound like Choctaw, or at least it didn't sound like what Kachi used to sing. I wonder—" "It's Cherokee," came a voice from the path to the grove. Charlie's head snapped to that direction. "You guys around here have got to stop sneaking up on us that way. Find a twig to step on or something. Geez, I'm going to have heart failure." She peered into the gathering gloom. "Who are you? Are you staying here too?" The man strolling toward them wore faded jeans and a cotton print burgundy shirt that was only half tucked into his jeans. The once black bandana tied around his forehead semi-controlled the wild black hair that covered his shoulders and back nearly to his waist. "Sorry, that's how we always walk. I'll give you a warning next time I'm coming your way." "No problem," Ben announced. "We're just a bit spooky. It's been an interesting day." "What? A little tornado put the scare on ya?" "It wasn't so little," Tara snapped. "Not when it's close enough that your vehicle is trying to go airborne. Not to mention the earthquake after," chimed in Charlie. "Oh, we get those quakes all the time now. Fracking." "Has Oklahoma always been earthquake country?" Charlie stared curiously. "Not until fracking. But hey, we've got natural gas now, coming out of the kitchen faucet." He spread his hands and shrugged. "Light a match and—" Charlie sucked in a breath. "But what about your water?" The newcomer shrugged and started to turn away. "Wait!" Tara scooted over to make room on the bench. She patted the place beside her. "Come join us. Was that you singing the sunset song?" He hesitated until she patted the bench beside her again. "What's your name?" There was something about him that intrigued her. "William Waya Windwalker." He lowered himself to the bench, then looked at Tara. "But you can call me Will." She smiled. "Hi, Will." He leaned back against the railing that kept them from tumbling into the creek and stretched out his legs. Charlie gasped, looking down. Following her gaze, Ben inhaled sharply too. Tara frowned and leaned forward. Will sighed and pulled his legs back, showing Tara what Charlie and Ben had seen. His left foot wore a beautiful buckskin boot that climbed halfway up his calf. Across the top of his foot and up the front panel, exquisite beading portrayed a rainbow-colored spiderweb surrounding the blue and green ball of our planet. 4-inch leather fringe draped around the top and down the outside edge of the soft leather. But it was the other leg that grabbed their attention. Where the right foot should have been, a broad, flat piece of metal stuck out from the frayed hem. Since they were all staring anyhow, Will hoisted his leg so that the metal heel rested on the lower rail, then pulled the denim up. The metal limb fastened to the stump of his leg, right above where his knee should have been. "Cool," Ben exclaimed, then quickly looked at Will, apology written all over his face. "Not that you lost a leg. Sorry, that must have been awful. But you've got one of those state-of-the-art prostheses. I've seen them on the web. With these, you can do just about everything you could before, right?" Will nodded, pleased. "Yep. Don't even need spurs when I ride stickers anymore. Just poke him with my toe and he pays attention." "Stickers?" "Yeah, my horse. We found him under a weesach bush out in the middle of nowhere, his mama nowhere to be seen. Wouldn't have seen him at all if he hadn't squealed about the time we rode past. For all the stickers we got hauling him out of that bush, you'd think he could show a little gratitude." "He doesn't?" "Nope. He's downright ornery most of the time." "How did it happen?" Tara's curiosity was up, and she returned to the previous subject. Will pushed down his pants leg, sat up, and leaned on his elbows toward Tara before answering. I rock. The word fell heavy between them, answering this question and slamming the door on any others. Tara took the hint. I liked your sunset song. Actually, I felt it. The air felt charged as you sang, and the light seemed to glow. Will's expression softened. Interesting that you felt that. I feel that way, too. He looked at Tara and saw only sincerity. You said Cherokee? Charlie leaned in. Have you always done this sunset song? Nope. When I was young and stupid, you couldn't get me anywhere near these old traditions. But when you have smelled death's bad breath, you don't see things the same way. I found out the sacred ways are the only ways. You can pretend other dimensions don't exist, but that doesn't stop them from affecting you. Pretending, you forfeit the ability to have a say in how your life goes. Ben grunted, but while their eyes met, neither Tara nor Charlie said a word. Besides, Will continued, have you ever really thought about it? Without the sun, without light and warmth, this planet would be cold and dead. Nothing could live on it that couldn't survive in absolute cold, dry, and dark. I thank it every day for life, just for life. He tapped his chest with his fist. For this life that I came close to not having. That's true, Charlie said. Without the sun, any water on Earth would be ice. Interesting to follow this train of thought. Sure makes you grateful for the sun, doesn't it? Will nodded. How long you folks here for? Will asked casually. Just... Ben stopped when Tara interrupted him. We thought we were here just for tonight, she began, but somehow... You're supposed to be here longer, affirmed Will. Charlie's mouth dropped open as she looked from one to another. Ben's expression mirrored hers. Tara and Will gazed at each other and seemed to be exchanging some kind of information. Why? Ben demanded. Charlie's eyes asked the same question. Will turned to look straight at him. Because we've got to get you some more tools before we send you back. We? Your spirit brothers? Charlie guessed correctly. Red Fox? Will nodded. And others. Ben's face had tightened. And they sent you. Why? Because 15 years ago I was as headstrong and stupid as you. Because I know firsthand the loneliness and confusion of a warrior just learning his path. Because what you're working on is vitally important to the future of humans on the planet. And, pregnant pause, Ben chomping at the bit. And because in the military I was a communications specialist, worked with satellite-based imaging which we were developing into real time. Spying? We called it surveillance. Real time? Charlie held her breath. Tara had already guessed, like the fairy. Yes, using Grandmother Spider. Grandmother Spider? Yes. What's that mean? It's code. For the grid. The citronella candle in the middle of the table popped and flared. Something splashed into the creek. The Christmas lights strung from the rafters suddenly flashed on, the rainbow colors reflected in the black waters of the creek, and still no one spoke.